Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, now here I am with another Marvel Cinematic Universe review, with my review of Iron Man 2. Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good movie right here, yeah. This movie kind of has a mixed reaction about it. Yeah, some people have said it's really good, while others have kind of said it's not really bad, but really kind of like one of the weaker movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yeah, it is. Yeah, some people have debated whether this or The Incredible Hulk is the weakest film of the MCU so far. I definitely say The Incredible Hulk is the weaker movie. Yeah, yeah, but this is still one of the weaker Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. But not to say it's bad. Yeah, I mean, I still think that this is a really enjoyable movie. I'd say it's a worthy follow up and continuation of the events from the first movie. Yeah, I do think that the first movie is the better movie. Yeah, I would say that this is probably the weakest Iron Man movie of the three so far. Yeah, but it is still an enjoyable movie. Just about everybody from the first film is back. Yeah, of course, Robert Downey Jr. back as Tony Stark, Gwyneth Paltrow back as Potts. It's yeah, mhm. Yeah, Jon Favreau, of course. Yeah, I didn't even say in my Iron Man 1 review that, of course, he was in this movie. Yeah, I mean, well, he was in the first one. Yeah, and he's in this one too. Yeah, I mean, Jon Favreau likes to be in movies he directs, like Elf and these movies. Yeah, Jon Favreau is in these movies. Can't believe I didn't even mention that in my review for the first movie. Yeah, and yeah, Samuel L. Jackson has a much bigger role in this as Nick Fury. Well, not really much bigger, but a bigger part. Yeah, he's in more of this movie than he was when he just made the appearance at the end of the first movie in the post-credits scene. Yeah, and yeah, this movie also has a lot of new characters in it. Yeah, this is the introduction of Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow in the MCU. Have Mickey Rourke as Ivan Vanko, the villain of the movie. Yeah. Have Don Cheadle as Rhodey in the movie. Yeah, so as just about everybody who was involved in the first movie, and some new characters as well. Yeah, and yeah, they all do pretty good in the movie, and like I said, well, yeah, I don't think it is quite as good as the first movie, but yeah, I still did really enjoy this movie. I give this movie about 3.25 stars out of 4. Yeah. And this movie has the like where they're the two Iron Mans. Well, not really Iron Mans, but the two armored suits of Tony Stark. Yeah, one of course is by him in Iron Man, and the other one is Rhodey in the Mark II armor suit, which is the all silver suit. And so yeah, the two of them are in the Iron Man suits. Yeah, So yeah, definitely. Yeah, the movie does definitely have a lot of good like action scenes to them, battle scenes to them. Yeah, yeah, and it is it is probably the slowest paced of the Iron Man trilogy, as I said, but yeah, it's still pretty good paced movie still. Well, yeah, it is just a pretty enjoyable film, I'd say. Yeah, so yeah, let me just get right into it. Yeah, so the movie opens up with Tony Stark's disclosure in his identity as Iron Man, and it's being covered in Russia, and then and Ivan Vanko, who's played by Mickey Rourke, does, has just seen his father die. His father Anton Vanko. Yeah. And after he sees this, he starts to build and create a miniature arc reactor that's similar to the one in Tony Stark's chest. And yeah, it just shows him constructing this as the opening credits are rolling. And then 6 months later, it shows Tony Stark as a superstar, and he's using his Iron Man suits for good causes. Yeah, and he's reinstituting the Stark Expo, to continue on with his father's legacy. And it's revealed that the core in Tony's arc reactor is like really slowly starting to poison him, and he's unable to find a substitute, but he's keeping this to himself and not telling anybody about his condition. And yeah, throughout the movie, it's just starting to increase. It's because of his, and it's starting to really like make him despondent and reckless. Yeah. Yeah, and then and it's shown that the government is trying to like buy some of Tony's designs, but Tony's resistant to let the government and get his designs, and yeah, he's refusing to sell his designs to the government. Yeah, and because of his condition, he then is appointing Pepper, who was his assistant, and from the first movie, and yeah, he appoints her to CEO of Stark Industries, and then he hires another one of his employees. He's Natalie Rushman, who is secretly Black Widow. It's not revealed yet. Who was played by Scarlett Johansson, and yeah, she's appointed as personal assistant to Pepper. And then yeah, and it's shown that she can like fight after some small bit of training and with her. Yeah. Yeah, and then later on, Tony is competing in the, how do you say this, Monaco Grand Prix. And during the race, he gets attacked by Vanko, and yeah, he's using some of electric whips that he's made. Yeah, and then Tony, he suits up in his Mark V armor, and yeah, he fights Vanko, and yeah, he defeats him, but in the process, it damages his suit really badly. Yeah. And Vanko then gets taken into custody, and then explains that he was trying to just prove to the world that Iron Man wasn't invincible. And then later on, as he's locked up, Tony's rival, Justin Hammer, helps Vanko break out of prison, and he also like fakes his death uh, while breaking him out. Yep. And he also asked Vanko to build some new line of armor to upstage Tony. Yep. And yeah, during Tony's birthday party, which he thinks will be his last one, while he's wearing his Mark IV suit, he gets drunk in the process. Well, he gets drunk during the party, I should say, not really in the process, yeah. And it's shown that a lieutenant for the Air Force, James Rhodes, aka Rhodey, as I've said, yeah, he's just disgusted by what he's seeing with Tony. And then he steals Tony's Mark II prototype armor, which is the all-silver suit. And yeah, he then is trying to restrain Tony, but yeah, then the two of them end up in a fight. And yeah, they're fighting all throughout the building. And then eventually the fight just pretty much ends in a draw. And then yeah, Rhodes just takes the Mark II armor suit, and yeah, he brings it back to the Air Force. And then later on, Tony then and comes across Nick Fury, who was, of course, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then it's revealed that Natalie Rushman, and who was the personal assistant for Stark Industries, is revealed to be Agent Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. Yeah. And yeah, then Nick Fury explains to Tony that his father was one of the founders of S.H.I.E.L.D. And yet Fury didn't. Fury actually knew Tony's father personally. Yeah, and he explained to Tony that his father, along with Vanko's father, invented the arc reactor. But after Vanko's father actually tried selling it for a profit, that Tony's father actually deported him. And then later on, Tony sees one of his father's old material that Fury gave him, and it's shown on like a video message from his father, and his father was telling him that his greatest creation ever was Tony himself. And then it's shown in a diorama of one of the old Stark Expos. It's actually shown to be a diagram of a new element structure. Yeah. Yeah, and then Tony eventually discovers, or is with the aid of Jarvis, his computer, he discovers Vanko is still alive, and then, yeah, he then placed the new element inside of his arc reactor, and which then ended his condition. Yeah. Yeah, and at the expo then, and Hammer then unveiled Vanko's those new drones, which are actually led by Rhodes and a new weaponized version of the Mark II armor. And then Tony then arrives in his Mark VI armor, and he tries to warn Rhodes about what's going on with Vanko and that he's still alive. But and then it turns out that Vanko actually took control of the drones and Rhodes' armor, and then yeah, he attacked Iron Man and Tony. Yeah, 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 and then Romanoff and Happy Hogan, who's Tony's bodyguard, then try to go after Vanko in the factory. But it's shown that Vanko has actually escaped, but then Black Widow or Romanoff, whatever you want to call her, is able to help Rhodey regain control of the armor. And then, yeah, Tony and Rhodes then went at it with the other drones, and yeah, they took all of them out. And then Vanko then arrived in his like huge armor suit, yeah, and yeah, Rhodey and Tony tried to double team him in his suit, but yeah, Vanko just overpowered them easily, but and then eventually just Vanko blew up his suit, and then he seemingly died of suicide. And yeah. And then the next day, Fury told Stark that S.H.I.E.L.D's intent was only to use Tony as a consultant due to his personality. And eventually Tony and Rhodey are awarded for their heroism, and the movie then cut to credits, but then after the credits, in the post-credits scene, Phil Coulson, who was an agent for S.H.I.E.L.D., reported a discovery of a large hammer that was at the bottom of a crater in the New Mexico desert. And yeah, this large hammer was, of course, or is gonna continue over to the next movie, which of course was Thor. And yeah, we're gonna get to that next time. So yeah, stay tuned for the review of Thor coming up next. Alright, so yeah, that does it for my review of Iron Man 2. Like I said, 3.25 stars out of 4. Yeah, it's a good movie. But yeah, I'd probably say it is one of the weaker movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far. So yeah, let me know how you feel about this movie. Whether you say it's really good or if you would say that it is one of the weaker movies of the MCU. Ooh, but yeah. Alright, so yeah, that's just my review of Iron Man 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.